Peace, peace. Alright, that's your brother Shemai Allah. Alright. First and foremost, want to give all praises, glory, honor, and thanksgiving to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahushai. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Yeah, and this is gonna be like a quick lesson, most high willing. And because I wanted to get into this I wanted to talk about this earthquake that took place in Turkey. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they messing with the numbers. They talking about 40,000 plus people died in the earthquake. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, hold on, man. That don't sound right. That sounds like they lying to me, man. Okay. So let me start here in Revelation chapter 11. All right. Start at verse 11, man. It says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Verse 13. This is the point right here, man. Okay. It says, in the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And this city is Babylon, man. It says, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. Okay, now I'm about to prove to you, line upon line, that this earthquake here is the greatest earthquake that's ever going to take place in history. Matter of fact, this earthquake is going to take place when the Messiah returns. This is the earthquake that's going to take place when the Messiah returns. Okay, because you got to understand, when you read the scripture, it says, before he ascended up into the cloud, the angels, I think it was the angel that told his disciples, why stand ye here gazing up? You know what I'm saying? Same way that the Messiah going up is the same way he gonna return. Okay. So he came in the cloud, he went up in the cloud, and he gonna return in a cloud. Okay. Now, when he returns in that cloud, there's gonna be a great earthquake. And what's gonna cause this earthquake is this cloud. This cloud ain't nothing like no other cloud ever. You know what I'm saying? I think y'all already know what this cloud is. If you've been, paying attention to my previous lessons, you know what I'm saying, about the fathership coming, and the Most High and the Son gonna be riding in on that thing, right? Okay. I know it sounds far-fetched, but this is what's gonna happen, man. But this is what I want y'all to understand. When he returned, there's gonna be an earthquake at the same time. This is gonna be the greatest earthquake that ever takes place. Okay, let me prove that real quick. Let's go to Revelation chapter 6, man. Okay. Now remember that number 7,000 too. This is Revelation chapter 6. And I'm gonna go, verse 12. It says, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Okay, so you see, this is the same earthquake that we read about in Revelation 11, verse 13. Now, what else is taking place with this same earthquake? The sun and the moon, are going to lose their light. The sun going to turn black. Why? Because it's going to be blotted out by the cloud. And the moon became as blood, man. So the moon's light going to be dim. Now, this is the same language that the Messiah Okay, when he's going to return in Matthew chapter 4:24. Let's get that real quick. Matthew 24, man. It's line upon line, man. And then, like I said, remember that number 7,000. Matthew 24, real quick. Matthew 24, verse 29, okay? Fix this light. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days, okay? The 400 years, this is the tribulation. The tribulation that ended 2019, 2020. Okay? Our tribulation, the tribulation of the Israelites. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Okay? And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Okay, and this is the same language, and at this same time, when the sun is darkened and the moon shall not give her light, there's going to be a great earthquake. The same language, man. Okay, and this is about to take place soon. All right. So I wanted to go to that scripture to prove to you, okay, that these events are going to take place surrounding this earthquake, man. So we know what earthquake we're talking about. Okay, it's the same earthquake. Now let's go back to Revelation, man. Remember that number, 7,000. We're going back to Revelation chapter 6. And we're going to read it again. Revelation 6. Verse 12, it says, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Okay? So you see, that's the same thing that the Messiah said in Matthew 24, verse 29. And what? Verse 13, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely fig. Now, untimely fig is a green fig. An untimely fig is green. So when the stars of heaven fall to the earth, okay, and it's dark, when the sky is dark, there's no light, those stars of heaven gonna give off a green streak. And it's gonna look like an untimely fig. It's gonna be green. See that footnote F? See? Or green figs. So a green fig is an untimely fig. And why is that significant? Because of what I just told you. Ain't gonna be no light. There's gonna be very little light. And when these stars fall from heaven, they're gonna give off like a green streak, man. Okay, if that's the correct interpretation. If my interpretation is correct on that right there. All right. Now it says, back to verse 12, and behold, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Okay. Now I'm about to go back to Revelation 11 and show you that this is my own private interpretation. Okay, I'm going to show you what the scriptures give me when I look at the cross reference. Now, like I say, you're going to remember that number 7,000. Okay. Verse 13, Revelation 11 and 13, in the same hour was there a great earthquake. You see? Now that's what? footnote. What's that? That right there, letter Q. So let's go there. See, Revelation 11:13 gives you, letter Q gives you chapter 6, verse 12. We just read that. So this is the same earthquake, man. Now look, it says of that earthquake was slain of men 7,000. Now let's go back to Revelation 6 and 12 again, man. Now that you see the cross reference, because this is of no private interpretation, man. Okay, line upon line, precept upon precept. Revelation 6, verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. Again, and lo, there was a great earthquake. See? Now, let's follow that. Let's follow that letter, that cross-reference, letter X. Okay, let's see where that takes us. Letter X, man, for Revelation 6, verse 12. Where we going? Letter X. Okay, so Revelation chapter 16, verse 18. All right, let's go there. Just follow along with me, man. Watch. You're going to see this, man. 16, verse 18. It says, and there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake. You see the same earthquake. How we know that? Let's keep reading. Such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. And look what it does. And the great city was divided into 3 parts. Okay, that's still Babylon. That's still talking about Babylon. So that same earthquake we read in Revelation 11 and 13 and 6 and 12 is still talking about that same great city. Okay, the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before God to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Now, guess what? We still talking about the same earthquake, because let's read verse 20. It says, and every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven. That's some figs, man. Every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. See? Same language for the same earthquake. Every island fled away and the mountains were not. So this earthquake, okay, which is the greatest earthquake going to happen, ever take place in history. Because what? It tells us, man. Well, look at what it says. Such as was not since men were upon the earth. You know what that's saying? It's saying such as was not. So this earthquake that's going to take place when Messiah returns, it's going to be the earthquake that takes place that can't even be compared to earthquakes that took place in the past. Okay? Such as was not since men were upon the earth. So this earthquake that's going to happen when Messiah returns is going to be the greatest earthquake from that point in which he returned all the way in previous times. From the past all the way up to when he returned, there's going to be no earthquake that ever takes place that can be compared to the earthquake that's going to happen when he returns, man. And then this earthquake was what? According to Revelation 11 and 13, right? Was slain of men, 7,000. So let me ask you a question real quick. How in the world is the earthquake in Turkey that took place, right, going to have 40,000 plus people to die, okay, when according to scripture, the greatest earthquake that's ever going to take place in history, which is soon to take place, okay, the greatest earthquake that's ever going to take place in history killed 7,000, okay? But they telling us what in the media that 40,000 plus people died in the earthquake in Turkey. You see what I'm saying? This is scriptures, man. There's no way in the world 40,000 plus people died in that earthquake, man. When the scriptures tell you that the greatest earthquake that's ever going to take place in history, when the Messiah returns, is going to kill 7,000 people. It's impossible. It says what here? And there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, man. Now let's see that footnote. So let's break that down. That's that letter C. Revelation 16 and 18, letter C. Let's see what that says. Letter C. Okay, Daniel 12 and 1. Let's go to Daniel 12 and 1, man. Let's get a better understanding of what that means, such as was not since men were upon the earth. Let's get a better understanding on that. Watch, man. You're going to see. Because, yo, man, the media be lying. Ain't no way in hell 40,000 plus people died. Yeah, they still pulling people out of the rubble. But that doesn't mean over 40,000 people died in that earthquake. Not according to scripture. Go to Daniel 12. Daniel chapter 12. So, and at that time, now we see we're not reading the scripture we're reading the scripture to get the understanding on that particular part of the other scripture. Let us see. All right. Now let's see what this scripture can help us to get a better understanding on that other one in Revelation. It says, Daniel 12 and 1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. Now here it is. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Okay, so this is the part we're looking for. This is the part that we want right here, that's next to letter X, that we want to help us to interpret the scripture that's in Revelation. It says, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. Now, you see, you can take these words and just cross-reference it with the words that was in the Revelation chapter what? What was it? Chapter 16? Go back to it. All right. Yeah, Revelation 16, verse 18. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. Okay. So that's the same. It's basically when you read this scripture right here in Daniel, where it says, such as never was since there was a nation. Okay. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. So this earthquake is the same thing. This is going to be so mighty of an earthquake and so great. It's going to be as one that never was ever took place in history, man. Okay. So mighty an earthquake and so great. Okay. And there it says, and there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. Man, so that tell you plain as day right there, man. Such as was not. So this earthquake that's going to take place is going to be like no other earthquake. Okay, and the scriptures tell you, man, when you cross-reference it, Revelation 11 and 13, in that earthquake was slain of men 7,000. The same earthquake, the greatest earthquake that's ever going to take place when the Messiah returns, man. It's gonna divide the great city Babylon into three, and another scripture says 10 parts. It said, well, matter of fact, it said a 10th part of the city. Okay, so that's like 1/3 of the city of Babylon, America, man. Okay, so this earthquake gonna be so great, and you know that this earthquake, that's what it's gonna do to Babylon, man. It's gonna destroy this place. And that's gonna be the return of the Messiah at the same time. Okay. So there's no way in the world that earthquake in Turkey killed over 40,000 people. There's no way in the world, man. Because if this earthquake, that's the greatest one that's ever going to take place in the history of mankind or humanity, going to slay 7,000, okay, then what makes you think the one that took place in Turkey actually killed 40,000 people or more than 40,000? I don't believe it. I think they lying. They got to be fudging the numbers, man. Okay. So this was just a little lesson to show you, man. You read these scriptures, you get the understanding, you get the wisdom. Most High show you the truth, man. Because they lying. They got to be lying. Because if the scriptures is accurate, line upon line, precept upon precept, like I just read, okay, then that's going to be the truth. Ain't nothing going to supersede or exceed or go above that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. You know how the media be lying, man. All right. And with that, I want to say peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. I want to give all praises, glory, honor, and thanksgiving to Yahweh Shema Mashak Yahweh Shah. All right. Shalom. Shalom.